Part 15. Fantasy, Invincible from the Holy Son of the Demon Section Author, 10 Miles. Chapter 141. Tianyu. Taisha Demon Sect. The Imperial Forbidden Land, the first ancestral land, and the Yin-Yang Tower of Life and Death, intend to join forces. Hearing the words of the Lord of the Heavenly Court, the 9 demons old man was not surprised, and even chuckled. It seems that after the Dao Realm War, their 3 major factions can't sit still. Except for Zhang Chen, who is the genius of this life. In addition, the other 4 successors of the Emperor's seal are all ancient geniuses. Now that Bai Ziu was being suppressed by Zhang Chen, the 3 great leaders naturally couldn't sit still. However, even if Ye Jinwu and 3 people join forces, the 9 demon old man is not worried at all. This is absolute confidence in Zhang Chen. Even the 9 demon old man dared to say directly. Among his peers, Zhang Chen is already invincible. I heard that behind this incident, there are still figures of those supreme ancient ancestors from the ancient immortal courtyard. The Lord of the Heavenly Court looked at the 9 demon old man. Zhang Chen was targeted this time. To a large extent, it had something to do with the Taisha demon ancestors' entry into the immortal realm. It doesn't matter. Unless it is already confirmed, our demon Sect 763 the ancestor died. Otherwise, even if they borrow some courage, they would not dare to do anything to the descendants of my demon section. The old man of the 9 demons smiled even more. He had also heard the inside story of the ancient turmoil in the immortal. That's why he was so confident. Because he, the ancestor of the demon sect, really had the monstrous fighting power to suppress the supreme ancient ancestor. You must know that suppression and suppression have 2 different meanings. There are even rumors that the ancestor of the demon sect has already touched the rumored realm of the holy ancestor. Otherwise, the ancestor of the demon sect would have reached the realm in the past. You won't be able to survive in the immortal realm after killing all around. I always feel that this matter is a bit strange, so it's better to be prepared in advance. After hearing this, the Lord of Heaven still gave some advice. That means don't worry. I am sensible. The old man of the 9 demons knew that the Lord of Heaven had good intentions, so he nodded seriously. But he didn't tell the Lord of Heaven about some of his demon sect's secret cards. The Wan realm has been quite unstable recently, and I am going to try to take the path of immortality. After that, the Lord of the Heavenly Court said. He told the 9 demon old man that from now on, he in the ancient heavenly court would have to hide from the world for a period of time. During this period, unless there is a catastrophe of life and death. Otherwise, even if something happens, the Taisha demon sect can handle it alone. I don't have to worry. Even if something happens, the 5th ancestor will not stand idly by. It's you. After condensing the Tao fruit, and then integrating the Tao immortal seed, no one has tried this path, it's too dangerous. The old man of the 9 demons looked solemn, but he did not expect that the Lord of Heaven would actually take such a risk. Now, no one knows whether the fusion of immortal species and the path of the same path will conflict. If something goes wrong, even if the Lord of the Heavenly Court is not dead, he will still be half dead. Isn't there already a precedent? The Lord of the Heavenly Court smiled. Are you talking about Zhang Chen? That means he is just a monster and cannot be used as an example. The old man of 9 demons was startled, then he came back to his senses and shook his head. Normally speaking, monks can only condense Dao fruit when they are in the great emperor realm. As for Zhang Chen, he was the first to follow his own path in the realm of Shinto. Therefore, the 9 demon old man is not surprised at all that Zhang Chen can merge the 2. But the Lord of Heaven is gambling by taking Zhang Chen as an example. I know this too, but that is to say, I had reached half-step to supremacy as early as the last years of my life. The Lord of Heaven smiled calmly. Although they are both half-step to the top, the Lord of Heaven is countless years older than the 9 demons. In other words, the Lord of Heaven no longer has enough time to wait. This time, the 9-demon old man was silent. All souls in the world will eventually undergo reincarnation. This is true for ordinary people. It is also true for cultivators. Even if they are like them, who have reached half a step of supreme, their lifespan will also have an end. In fact, even the true supreme ancestor will be restricted by the reincarnation of heaven. If you can't break through the peak, you will never be able to escape. This is a rule since ancient times. It is the rule of heaven. No one can escape. That's it. All right. After saying this, the Lord of Heaven waved his sleeves, and the Taoism filled the air and disappeared in an instant. In terms of time, it is indeed running out. After a long time, the old man 9-demons murmured to himself, his eyes became determined, as if he had made some decision. Ancestral Demon Palace. On the altar. Zhang Chen's true form is sitting cross-legged in the center of the altar. Around the main body, 3 incarnations are derived from one chi transformed into 3 pure beings. Those 3 incarnations formed the formation of the 3 talents of heaven, earth, and man, bringing together the endless dharma of heaven and earth into Zhang Chen's body. Zhang Chen's body also formed seals with his hands. In both hands, each holds an imperial seal. At this time, Zhang Chen was using secret techniques to gradually merge the 2 imperial seals. The more the 2 imperial seals merge, the more endless dharma comes from all directions. Zhang Chen was like a bottomless black hole, madly devouring the terrifying Taoism that gathered together. This caused Zhang Chen's cultivation aura to increase crazily and skyrocketing at an astonishing speed. In Zhang Chen's seclusion, time passed slowly, Outside, the surging undercurrent is becoming more and more obvious. Immortal territory, first ancestral land, nether territory, and other large domain orthodoxies have all taken action and are making arrangements. The entire Taoist order of Wanyu was aware of the strange atmosphere. Countless eyes converged on the immortal realm. Since Bai Xiu's defeat, the Taoists in various regions had a premonition that something big was going to happen. After all, it is impossible for the Emperor's Forbidden Land, the first ancestral land, and the Yin-Yang Tower of Life and Death, to just sit back and watch Zhang Chen rise. Now, the immortal domain and other Taoist traditions are taking action, which naturally makes the 10,000 realms Taoism excited. When all the Taoists' attention is focused on the immortal realm, the remote snowy area was shrouded in endless darkness. A big crisis is quietly brewing, and will soon threaten the entire world. 5 months later. Boom. Taisha Demon Sect, Ancestral Demon Palace. An extremely terrifying imperial pressure suddenly rose into the sky, causing chaos. Endless chaos rose up from Zhang Chen, who was sitting cross-legged, turning into a chaotic world. In that vast chaotic world, there is a majestic and mysterious emperor's figure emerging. The imperial power of those invincible gods is like a supreme heavenly emperor patrolling, containing boundless coercion. After more than 5 months of seclusion, Zhang Chen's cultivation finally reached the realm of the Great Emperor. After entering the Great Emperor realm, Zhang Chen's cultivation level was still rising like a volcano erupting crazily. First level of the Great Emperor realm. Second level of the Great Emperor realm. Third level of the Great Emperor realm. Fourth level of the Great Emperor realm. After continuously breaking through the 4th level, Zhang Chen's terrifying imperial power gradually stopped. The huge breakthrough in cultivation level 3.0 was not due to Zhang Chen's qualifications. It was the 2 imperial seals that, after merging, fed Zhang Chen endless Taoism. Just realized this. Zhang Chen has been integrating the Emperor's seal in the past few months. Just the fusion of 2 imperial seals can get such feedback. That is, if the 5 Emperor seals are combined into one, then. Zhang Chen slowly opened his eyes, with a bright fairy light shining in his clear eyes. From the 9th level of the Quasi-Emperor realm, he stepped into the fifth level of the Great Emperor realm in one fell swoop. Jiang Chen's whole person felt as if he had been baptized by transformation. It was a change from the inside out. The Great Emperor realm is the realm where Dao fruit is condensed. This realm is a top priority for monks. Although Jiang Chen condensed his own Dao fruit early. However, it was not until he truly set foot in the realm of the Great Emperor that his chaotic world was completely formed. It can be said that the endless chaos derived from Jiang Chen has become a real world. _ Fantasy, Invincible from the Holy Son of the Demon Section Author, 10 miles. Chapter 142. Just the fusion of two imperial seals allowed Jiang Chen to undergo such a transformation. If the 5 imperial seals gather together, even in the realm of immortality, one can get a glimpse of it. This also made Jiang Chen look forward to the other 3 imperial seals even more. Under the immortal way, you are truly invincible. After that, Jiang Chen clenched his fists with a smile on his face. With his current strength, if he faced Bai Ziyu from before, he could easily suppress him. Whether it was the ancestral witch Dharma sign, Gzi, or even in the chaotic world, there is no need to use it anymore. One can imagine how Jiang Chen's strength has changed with his breakthrough this time. If he uses various secret methods and ancient techniques, Jiang Chen will be able to run rampant under the immortal way. As for the immortal way realm, to be honest, this is still a bit difficult. After all, the immortal realm is already on another level. Under normal circumstances, a true immortal creature can kill a great emperor with one finger. With all his strength, Jiang Chen he should be able to compete with a true immortal, but there is no suspense about his defeat. After a while, Jiang Chen gathered his mind. Immediately afterwards, his consciousness entered the world of chaos. One chi turned into 3 pure things. 1089 heavenly skills. That's the power of the divine elephant to suppress the prison. That's the way of the Emperor of Heaven. The true dragon treasure technique. The Thunder Emperor treasure technique. Mei is the art of killing immortals. Mei is a secret word. One after another, magical powers, secret techniques, and divine arts appeared in the chaotic world one after another. With his breakthrough in cultivation, Jiang Chen also gained a deeper understanding of these magical powers and secret techniques. Any powerful magical power and secret method can only truly exert its killing power if it is thoroughly understood and controlled. When Jiang Chen made a breakthrough in cultivation and deduced his understanding of magical powers and secret techniques, several major traditions in the outside world also made some noise. Fairyland. The forbidden land of the Emperor. Call. A vast aura of grand mist, like the heaven and earth opening for the first time, spreads out, containing the supreme origin. That is Hongmeng immortal seed. The fusion was successful. Sun Tianji, who was sitting cross-legged, was gleaming with Hongmeng immortal light, like an ancient immortal spirit. An unparalleled terrifying immortal power emanated from Sun Tianji, making people tremble with fear. From the ancient immortal era more than half a year has passed since the return of the 10,000 Immortals Conference. During this period, Sun Tianji's focus has been on purifying the immortal method and integrating the immortal seeds. Now, he has finally completely integrated the Hongmeng immortal seeds. This is also due to Sun Tianji's whole person has undergone an indescribable transformation. Because he succeeded in integrating the Hongmeng immortal seed into the great Emperor Dao fruit. This means that Sun Tianji can not only follow the path of the immortal seed, but also use the Dao fruit to evolve the immortal path. This is the complete fusion of the ancient immortal method and the modern method. After the perfect fusion of the two immortal methods, Sun Tianji's cultivation level has been further improved. Now he has surpassed the level of the great emperor, but he is still I haven't really set foot in the realm of immortality. If I have to know it, I should take a half step into the realm of immortality. Sun Tianji had a strong premonition in his heart. That is, as long as he is willing, he can step into the realm of immortality at any time. Of course, Sun Tianji would not rush into the realm of immortality now. For the inheritance of the ancient immortal court, he has been sealed since the ancient times. He has been waiting for countless years, and now he is about to succeed. Naturally, he will not give up just yet. The first ancestral land. In that mysterious ancient fairy palace. Boom. Suddenly, the void shook violently. There are dazzling five-element fairy lights, rising into the sky from everywhere in the fairy palace, and the sky and the earth change color. In that five-color fairy light, it can be seen that the five elements are intertwined, blending with each other, and evolving into infinite worlds. After that, a figure of fairy light surrounded by five-color laws appeared from the five-color fairy light. That person is Yejin Wuo. Behind Yejin Wuo, there was a lifelike colorful fairy bird, neighing upwards to the sky. That was actually the ancient immortal beast that had been lost for a long time, the five-color peacock. That is, the five elements harmonize and evolve the heavens. Yejin Wuo stepped on the five elements Taoism and fell down, with a bright look in his eyes. After more than half a year of retreat, he finally completely integrated the five elements Taoism. A seemingly irrepressible pressure of the immortal Tao surged in Yejin Wuo's body. Moving, affecting the endless Taoism. This is a sign of touching the realm of true immortals. This time, it is the last chance. After falling from the immortal palace, there was perseverance in Yejin Wuo's eyes. This trip to the immortal peak of enlightenment. If he cannot seize the five emperor seals, he will have no chance of inheriting the immortal court. Because his cultivation level has reached the limit of suppression. Once he defeats the emperor and becomes an immortal, even if he obtains the five imperial seals, it will be of no use. The ancient immortal court has long had rules. Only creatures under the immortal path can compete for the inheritance of the immortal court and become the heirs of the immortal court. It is precisely because of this that he has been sealed since ancient times until he appeared in this life. The underworld. Yin-Yang Tower of Life and Death. An ancient cave filled with the spirit of life and death. It's wrong. Following a loud shout, the void suddenly exploded like thunder and shook violently. After that, the vast sea-like netherworld energy exploded unbridled. The heaven and earth with a radius of hundreds of millions of miles were covered by that vast netherworld energy. The energy is overwhelming. Is it successful? The movement coming from the cave of life and death immediately aroused the perception of the ancient ancestor of the underworld, the ancient Chura. The figure flashed. Ancient Chura appeared outside the cave of life and death and saw through the majestic and endless netherworld energy. As expected. In the cave of life and death, Gu Senluo, who was sitting cross-legged and meditating, was filled with the ancient and mysterious ghostly light. This means that Gu Senluo has successfully integrated the absolute nether seed brought back from the 10,000 Immortals Conference. That's half a step to true immortality. After sensing the cultivator of Gu Senluo, the smile on Gu Shura's face became even bigger. No wonder Zhang Chen's combat power had undergone such a huge transformation after fusing the world tree sapling. This road to the immortal seed of harmony is indeed extraordinary. Now that Gu Senluo has merged the two paths, it is impossible to predict how much potential he will have in the future. In the cave of life and death, Gu Senluo slowly opened his eyes, and deep in his eyes, there seemed to be a nether world rolling and evolving. That is Taisha Demon Sun. The murmurs filled with incomparable confidence gradually echoed in 357's cave of life and death. The 10th ancestral land. On the back of the huge black turtle. Ang. Bai Ziu, who was sitting cross-legged on the innate Taoist platform, heard the vast world-shaking dragon roar from his body. A vast and shocking world-shaking dragon power filled most of the star field. Even the ancient mysterious man who had lived for countless epochs, the turtles, were all trembling at this moment. That's the dragon soul immortal seed. That's the true immortal realm. After a long time, the unparalleled dragon power gradually dissipated. Bai Ziu, who was sitting cross-legged in the sky, had an air of ethereal immortality, untainted by any dust. After losing to Zhang Chen in the Battle of the Gods domain, Bai Ziu he no longer suppressed his own realm. In just a few months of seclusion, Bai Ziu completely crossed the imperial realm and stepped into the true immortal level. Do you want to go to the immortal peak of enlightenment? The void shook slightly. A figure appeared from the void. This is an old man wearing ancient robes, and the aura he exudes is as vast as a star field, boundless. This old man is none other than the supreme ancient ancestor of the 10th ancestral land, Baiwaji. That means I want to see it with my own eyes. Who will be the successor of Immortal Court? Bai Ziu nodded. Although he was defeated by Zhang Chen, he had lost the qualification to compete for the successor of Immortal Court. But he was still quite interested in the final battle between the descendants of Immortal Court. Furthermore, the failure of the Immortal Court successor battle does not mean that he has completely declined. The competition in the realm of immortality is the real highlight. WX_103 221,766. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, Invincible from the Holy Son of the Demon Section author, 10 miles. Chapter 143. For a time, all areas were boiling. Countless giants from the Taoist lineage mobilized one after another and gathered towards the immortal realm. In the past few months, these three top overlords have been operating secretly. It is obvious that these top orthodoxy are secretly preparing something. Now, they are the descendants of the three great avenues and have come out of seclusion together. This naturally caused countless forces to surge. This time, the position of heir to the immortal court may be completely decided. Snowy Land. The vast snowy area has been completely submerged in the air of darkness. The entire snowy area was deathly silent, like a cemetery, extremely silent. It was as if there were no living creatures in this vast area. Snowy Center. The top of a towering snow mountain. Is the news true? When the immortal peak of enlightenment is unsealed, all the descendants of the four emperor seals will gather together. The strange creature with a single horn on its forehead and red blood pupils looked at the black-robed creature coming forward. That is to say, the news has been verified and there is absolutely no mistake. Although there are no ancient symbols on the backs of those dark creatures, their cold and evil auras are clearly evil cultivators. In other words, the heirs of the ancient immortal court are about to be born. The strange creatures murmured to themselves, the ferocious look on his face became even more terrifying. In the early years of Immortal Ancient, they joined forces with the evil cultivators from outside the world and paid a huge price to destroy ancient Immortal Court. Now, a successor will be born in ancient Immortal Court, which is naturally not what they want to see. After all, after the descendant of the ancient Immortal Court appears, it is very likely that he will order the Immortal Court to branch out and establish another Immortal Court. Once the ancient Immortal Court is re-established, the entire Xianhuang world's orthodoxy will likely be ordered by the Immortal Court. This is not a good thing for these weird creatures. In the current Xianhuang world, each domain is divided into camps, and they are all different from each other, and they are a mess. It was precisely this that gave them the opportunity to invade so easily. Once the entire Xianhuang world is ordered to be integrated like the time of ancient times. With the foundation of the Xianhuang world, it would be too difficult for them to capture it. That is to say, no matter what, it must be stopped, and the imperial seal of the ancient immortal court is unified. The strange creature Sun Yan spoke, filled with murderous intent. If you want to prevent the immortal court from rising again, you must deal with Zhang Chen and other successors of the Emperor's seal. The birth of the Enlightenment Immortal Peak this time is indeed a great opportunity for them. Because this is different from the arrival of innate luck, there will be no coercion from God. They can take advantage of the opportunity, disguise themselves, and launch an attack. Of course, such actions are extremely dangerous, and can even be said to be equivalent to suicide. Chapter 2: The First Ancestral Land, the Emperor's Forbidden Land in the Immortal Domain, the Yin-Yang Tower in the Underworld, and the Taisha Demon Sect in the Heavenly Domain. These four major forces are definitely the top overlords in the Xianhuang world. I'm afraid that the descendants of their four great traditions will, the Supreme Ancestor is paying attention. If they want to kill someone under the protection of the Supreme Ancestor, they will have to risk their lives. That is to say, we must plan this matter carefully this time, we must kill completely. The black-robed evil cultivator also spoke with a cold voice. The birth of the Enlightenment Immortal Peak this time in the mouth area is the last chance for them. There are only 4 successors of the 5 Emperor Seals. Now, these 4 all the people will gather together. If nothing unexpected happens, the 5 Imperial Seals will be unified. The battle for the successors of the ancient Immortal Court will also end here. Therefore, if they miss this opportunity, they will not be able to stop the ancient Immortal Court. Have risen. This is why they come to join forces with these dark creatures. Heavenly Domain. Taisha Demon Sect. Yejin Wu, the first ancestor, is suspected of being a fusion of the 5 elements and the Tao. The Sun martial arts of the Emperor's Forbidden Land is integrated with the Hongmeng Immortal Seed. The Yin-Yang Life and Death Tower Gu Sen Luo has refined the Taisha Nether Seed. The cultivation of the 3 of them has also undergone transformation because of this. It is very possible that they have reached the level of a half-step true immortal. Venerable Zhan Tian came from the ancient heaven to inform about the movements of the 3 great traditions. So, the ancient immortal method and the method of this world can indeed be perfectly integrated. After hearing this, the old man of the 9 demons focused on the immortal species. Compatibility with Daokyo. After all, the ancient Lord of Heaven also embarked on the path of integrating immortal species. If Zhang Chen's fusion of immortal species is a special case, the success of Yejin Wu and the other 3 people means that this road is indeed feasible. As for the transformation of Yejin Wu and the others, the 9 demons didn't care at all. No matter how much the 3 of them have changed, they cannot be stronger than the current Zhang Chen. As long as they did not truly set foot in the realm of immortality, the 9 demon old man had no worries. Of course, if they really break the restriction, they will become immortals. That was actually a great thing for Zhang Chen. Because in this case, the position of successor of the ancient immortal court belongs to Zhang Chen. It's hard to say yet. Hearing the words of the 9 demon old man, Lord Zhan Tian shook his head slightly, obviously not that optimistic. His senior brother's cultivation had already reached half-step supreme, and the Dao fruit had completely evolved into the immortal Dao. However, Yejin Wu and other 3 juniors, although he is an ancient genius, but his cultivation has always been suppressed by the immortal Dao. Therefore, the 2 are fundamentally different from each other. The path his senior brother is taking now is to destroy the immortal Dao and then rebuild it. This is the same. Zhang Chen, Yejin Wu and others are completely different. Now there is news that the 3 of them want to decide who will be the successor of the immortal court when the immortal peak of enlightenment is born. After that, Lord Zhan Tian gathered his mind and said the most important thing news. That is, the immortal peak of enlightenment. Did they find the place where Saint Ancestor Dao Yi demonstrated his enlightenment? The old man 9 demons was startled, and he was really surprised this time. Is it the Taoist Saint Ancestor? The legendary Saint Ancestor realm? Zhang Chen was also quite curious. Regarding the Saint Ancestor realm, there is no true record of even the background of the Taisha demon son. In a word, the news about the Holy Ancestor realm is covered with 3 words in the legend. That's right. According to the records of the secret history of the Heavenly Court, Saint Dao Yi was the giant who finally became a saint ancestor in the first year of the immortal ancient period. Since then, the realm of Saint Ancestor has completely become a legend, and there is no one left. Breakthrough. Venerable Jean Tien nodded. When he mentioned the Holy Ancestor realm, there was also a strong yearning in his eyes. It is said that the existence of the Holy Ancestor realm is truly transcendent from the way of heaven and can coexist with the way of heaven. That is, the true realm of eternal life is not limited by lifespan. The world is decaying, but the Saint Ancestor is immortal. Why did the Taisha demon ancestor and other ancient ancestors leave the realm of heaven one after another when they exist? The purpose is to find someone who can step into the realm of the Saint Ancestor. Opportunity. In other words, the immortal peak of enlightenment is, Zhao Hao, the place where the deist Saint Ancestor attained enlightenment and became a saint. There have always been rumors that the opportunity of the deist Saint Ancestor is hidden in the immortal peak of enlightenment. Immediately afterwards, Venerable Jean Tien revealed the news about the immortal peak of enlightenment. However, the appearance of the immortal peak of enlightenment is too coincidental. I feel that this matter is not simple. Venerable Jean Tien looked at Zhang Chen and said again. What do you mean, the appearance of the enlightenment immortal peak may be a bait? After hearing this, the 9 demons old man immediately understood the meaning of Jean Tianzun's words. The chance of a legendary ancestor is more shocking than the innate luck. Under normal circumstances, once they learn the news, they will definitely not miss it. That's very likely. That's because there was news before that the first ancestral land and other 3 avenues heirs have secretly joined forces. Lord Jean Tien nodded. It was precisely because he learned this news that he immediately came from the ancient heaven to tell Zhang Chen. It's true as the rumors say. Then this time when the immortal peak of enlightenment is born, Zhang Chen may have to avoid the edge for a while. Underscore. Fantasy, Invincible from the Holy Son of the Demon Section author, 10 miles. Chapter 144. Is it a joint effort? It's just right. It saves me the trouble of looking for them one by one. When Zhang Chen heard this, not only was he not surprised, he even had a smile on his face. This was indeed an opportunity for him. If a piece of innate luck came and suppressed a successor of the Emperor's seal, then when the 5 Emperor's seals were gathered, I'm afraid it won't take several years. After all, judging from the previous innate fortunes, the interval between the arrival of each innate fortune will be longer and longer. But now, not to mention the strange source and the appearance of evil tribes from outside the world. There are also the Xianming world will collide with the Xianhuang world. No one knows when these changes will occur. Zhang Chen naturally has to seize the time, continue to become stronger, and improve his cultivation strength. I feel that now this is not the best time to take action. That is to say, since they have promised that they will determine the successor of the ancient immortal court when they reach the immortal peak of enlightenment. Then let the 3 of them fight to the death. That is, wait until this matter is over, and then challenge again, so that the chance of winning will be greater. Hearing Zhang Chen's words, Lord Jean Tien couldn't help but say. He came to tell Zhang Chen about this because he was afraid that Zhang Chen would take action on impulse. You know, if Zhang Chen rushes out now, I will become the target of public criticism and be besieged by 3 people. With Bai Ziu's lessons learned from the past, Ye Jinwu and the other 3 will definitely form an alliance even if they do not join forces. No. If I continue to drag on, the situation will be even worse for me. Zhang Chen shook his head and directly rejected the proposal. There is a great opportunity hidden in the Emperor's seal. Seeing that Lord Jean Tien still wanted to persuade him, Zhang Chen revealed the matter about the Emperor's seal. The fusion of the 2 imperial seals allowed him to move from the 9th level of the quasi-emperor realm to the 5th level of the great emperor realm. If Ye Jinwu, Gu Senluo, and Sun Tianji really decide the winner, then when someone obtains 3 imperial seals, their strength will undergo a huge transformation. When that time comes, Zhang Chen will face far more trouble than he does now. To put it simply, One true immortal is far more dangerous than 3 half-step true immortals. Will the fusion of Emperor Seal greatly improve the cultivation level? This matter was within the expectations of Lord Zhang Tian. In this way, Zhang Chen can really get to the immortal peak of enlightenment this time. The current cultivation of Yejinwu and the others may have reached half-step of true immortality. If we get another chance, our combat power will be comparable to that of a real immortal. As for breaking through to the true immortal realm, with the foundation of the 3 great traditions, there must be a way to suppress it. Then it's decided like this. Wu Dao immortal on the peak, trample on the 3 geniuses and aspire to be the heir of the immortal court. The old man 9 demons saw this and spoke with a smile. Compared to the worries of Lord Zhang Tian, the old man 9 demons had full confidence in Zhang Chen. Because he had already taken action to test Zhang Chen's combat power. That's why the 9 demons only an old man would think that. Zhang Chen really has no rivals under the immortal way. This is not an exaggeration, but a fact. The situation is indeed as Zhang Tianzun said. After a few days, the enlightenment immortal the peak is in the immortal realm, one of the 9 great trees. One day, the Tao broke out. The birth of the legendary holy ancestors' treasure land of enlightenment naturally caused boundless storms in the world. Those early as soon as they smelled the wind, the countless giants of the Taoism who had gathered in the immortal realm immediately swarmed away. Although those giant Taoism knew that something big would happen in the immortal realm, they still didn't expect that the rumored place where the saint ancestor attained enlightenment would actually be there. All have been born. Even those half-step ancient ancestor giants who have been hiding in seclusion have come out after hearing the news. However, no matter those top Taoists or half-step supreme giants, they have no chance to ascend to the enlightenment immortal peak. Because, a true supreme ancestor came and stopped all living beings. After that, the news that the descendants of the 4 immortal emperor seals would compete here spread like a hurricane. The exploration of the enlightenment immortal peak, we have to wait until the battle between the descendants of the immortal court is over before we can go there. As soon as the news came out, the whole world was in an uproar, and the noise reached the sky. Even the real overlords did not dare to enter the immortal peak without authorization. The background of the descendants of the 4 emperors' seals, but strong enough to overwhelm any domain. The imperial forbidden land where Sun Tianji is located has the immortal domain behind him. Yejinwu's first ancestral land is the strongest among the 9 ancestral lands. Gu Senluo's Yin and Yang, the Tower of Life and Death, to a certain extent, can command the entire underworld. As for Zhang Chen, who came from behind, it is even more terrifying. Not only does he have the backing of the 2 strongest traditions in the heavenly realm, but he also has the background of the 5th ancestral land now. Their 4 great emperor seals are going to decide the position of the successor of the ancient immortal court here. Naturally, no one dares to have any objection. It can even be said that even other supreme ancient ancestors have to avoid the spotlight for the time being. Of course. Apart from the shock, there were also a lot of doubts. Judging from the actions of the first ancestral land, the imperial forbidden land, and the yin-yang tower of life and death some time ago, it was obvious that their 3 major systems were planning, and they even joined forces with each other. A sign. At this delicate moment, Zhang Chen, the Taisha devil, will come alone? Although Zhang Chen has the overwhelming combat power to overwhelm Bai Ziyu. However, once Yejinwu and 3 people join forces, then Zhang Chen will have to 1-on-3. No matter how strong Zhang Chen is, he can't fight against 3 ancient geniuses on his own, right? When these doubtful rumors appear, the voice of Taisha demon sect is heard in the sky. Fight. Simple. A single word, but it contains overwhelming domineering power. The Taoism of the 10,000 realms, which was originally hotly debated, was all silent. The Taisha demon sect's answer made them feel an invincible belief. Among their peers, the Taisha demon son, don't be afraid of anyone. Immediately, the 10,000 realms Taoism became more and more excited and shocked. The first ancestral land. In the colorful immortal palace. A war. Oh, the Taisha demon sect is quite confident. Yejin Wu, who was surrounded by colorful fairy lights, chuckled when he heard the news from the heaven realm. Ye Wenchen also smiled. Taisha demon sect has invincible confidence in Zhang Chen. His first ancestor also had infinite confidence in Yejin Wu. The underworld. Yin-Yang Tower of Life and Death. Do you think that by suppressing a Bai Ziu, you can really become invincible against his peers? Gu Senluo, who was stepping on the billowing aura of the netherworld, narrowed his eyes slightly, with a dangerous light flashing in his eyes. This battle will let the Taisha demon sect know what it means that there are people outside the world, and there is a sky outside the world. Gu Senluo murmured to himself, there is an unconcealable arrogance in his expression. Fairyland. The forbidden land of the emperor. I was originally worried that Taisha demon son would avoid the battle. It seems now that I was really overly worried. Sun Tianji, who was surrounded by the Hongmeng immortal Qi, laughed. To be honest, Sun Taiji was not surprised at all by Taisha demon sect's answer. Because ever since Zhang Chen entered the world, he has been rising violently and has never retreated. That is to say, it is time to settle this matter. Sun Tianji slowly exhaled. He has been waiting for too long since the ancient times and has been sealed until now. Now, everything is finally coming to an end. As time flows. In the immortal realm, the creatures gathered in one day are becoming more and more shocking and terrifying. This battle between the four great heirs is not just a battle between the younger generations. This battle is also related to the position of the successor of ancient immortal court. Such a grand event that attracts worldwide attention is extremely rare throughout ancient and modern times. Boom. After half a month. On the immortal peak of enlightenment, a bright celestial light suddenly rose into the sky and went straight into the 9 heavens. Not long after, a shocking vision appeared on the sky. A majestic phantom of immortal light, like an invincible immortal emperor, overlooks the heavens and the realms. At this moment, the hundreds of millions of living beings who gathered felt their souls trembling. WX_103 221,766. Fantasy, Invincible from the Holy Son of the Demon Section Author, 10 miles. Chapter 145. What is the power of the Holy Ancestor? Even those half-step Supreme Ancestors, or even the truly Supreme Ancestors, couldn't calm down when they saw the majestic fairy light, and their expressions changed drastically. Because they changed from that fairy light in the phantom, I felt the indescribable supreme holy power. It was a monstrous pressure that far exceeded the ancestral realm. It can even be said that the ancient ancestral power was as weak as an ant in front of such holy power. Past. Is there really a chance for a saint ancestor in the immortal peak of enlightenment? This made the half-step Supreme and Supreme Ancestors all excited and excited. The half-step Supreme Ancestor dreams of crossing the extreme realm and entering the true ancient ancestor realm. Those true ancient ancestors have been exploring the path to the realm of the holy ancestors. Now, how could they not be excited to see the real pressure of the holy ancestor appear? That's the holy ancestor. Among them, the most exciting and shocking one is naturally the Daoyi immortal sect. Because the Daoyi saint ancestor who proved the Tao in the past was the founder of the Daoyi immortal sect. But since the Daoyi saint ancestor disappeared, the Daoyi immortal sect has become lonely year by year. Now, among the top giants in the immortal realm, the Daoyi immortal sect no longer has a place. Now, seeing the holy power of the Daoyi saint ancestor and awakening from the Dao immortal peak, it seems that he is about to return. The creatures in Daoyi immortal sect feel that the blood all over their bodies is flowing back and boiling. A supreme saint ancestor, placed in today's world of 10,000 realms, is definitely enough to suppress everything. Of course, even if the saint ancestor doesn't know how to do it, return. The status of their immortal sect will also soar in the future. Behind them is the figure of a saint ancestor. Even those giants and overbearing sects have to weigh it. At this time, in the deep void, what is going on? What's going on? Wenchen, the ancient ancestor of the first ancestral land, looked at the immortal court giants such as the Fenchen ancient ancestor beside him. Sun Wushan from the Emperor's Forbidden Land and Gu Shura from the Yin-Yang Tower of Life and Death also looked over. Didn't ancient patriarch Fenchen and others say before that saint ancestor Daoyi did not leave any inheritance in the immortal peak of enlightenment? What should I say about this boundless holy power in front of me? That kind of holy power that is enough to suppress the heavens is definitely not something that can be created by the ancient ancestor realm. In other words, is there really a chance of a Taoist saint ancestor in this immortal peak of enlightenment, as rumored? This naturally made Wenchen and others extremely surprised. Even they are excited about the opportunity of a legendary saint ancestor. Now, giants such as the Fenchen ancient ancestor are actually willing to use it as bait? What do you think of this? Are you too willing to spend a lot of money? It shouldn't be. Ancestor Fentian and other giants of the ancient immortal court murmured to themselves, quite unbelievable. Before unsealing the seal of the Wudao immortal peak, they had carefully sensed it. Precisely because they did not find anything, they only then would they use the immortal peak of enlightenment as bait to lure out the Taisha demon sect. If they had known this earlier, they would not have taken it out even if they were beaten to death. The opportunity left by the existence of the holy ancestor might have hidden rumors of a breakthrough. The secret of the holy ancestor. After all, it was here that the holy ancestor Daoyi in the past achieved the great way of the holy ancestor and jumped to the highest realm. Now, what should I do? Beside the ancient ancestor Fenchen, there was a man with ice and snow. Patriarch, the woman whose charm still remains, asked this ancient female ancestor is named Swafeng ancient ancestor, and she has the pure blood of the Swafeng clan in her body. Rumor has it that in the age of mythology, there was a snow phoenix that transformed from nirvana and evolved into a pure-blooded innate immortal phoenix. This ancient ancestor Swafeng used to have an illustrious and evil reputation in the ancient immortal courtyard. The former lord of the immortal court once predicted that ancient ancestor Swafeng would have the amazing potential to become the holy ancestor. Pity. After the ancient immortal court was overthrown in the ancient immortal war, the world changed drastically. Even with Swafeng ancient ancestor's astonishing qualifications, he could not get a glimpse of the realm of the saint ancestor. After hearing this, ancient ancestor Fenchen and several other ancient ancestors looked at each other. They could naturally understand the meaning of Swafeng ancient ancestor's words. This is to take back the immortal peak of enlightenment. But here's the thing. All their words have been spoken. He also blocked all the other half-step supreme and supreme ancient ancestors. Now. But they want to take back the immortal peak of enlightenment. This face is quite embarrassing. It was just a vision of the holy ancestor, which could not explain anything. When this battle is over, we will take action again and seal off the entire immortal peak. As the initiator of this plan, ancient ancestor Fenchen finally made the decision. It is difficult to collect water. Of course, what you say cannot be taken back. And now no one can tell whether this is just a vision or whether it is a real opportunity for the holy ancestor. Once you make a mistake, you will lose face twice. As the giant of the ancient immortal court in the past, ancient ancestor Fenchen, naturally had to take some dignity into account. Of course, the so-called face is all nonsense. In fact, they were just not sure whether there really was an opportunity for the saint ancestor in the immortal peak of enlightenment. If it is true, then this face can be torn off at any time. Just in case, it's better to check first. Wenchen spoke and suggested. If there is a chance to break through the holy ancestor, if you miss it, you will be struck by lightning. I think so too. Seconded. Sun Wushan, Ancient Shura, Swafeng ancient ancestor and other giants all agreed with this proposal. Immediately, they reached a consensus and fled out of the sky one after another, sneaking into the Wudeo immortal peak quietly. The actions of those supreme ancient ancestors were naturally unable to hide it, the other gathered ancient ancestors sensed it. They were eagerly waiting and did not relax at all. Looking at it, it seemed that as long as the opportunity for the holy ancestor appeared, they would immediately swarm to snatch it. After just a few breaths, the sneak giants such as the burning ancient patriarch of the Enlightenment immortal peak escaped one after another. On the immortal peak of enlightenment, the vast and world-conquering holy power is as shocking as ever, shocking all living beings. Is there no chance of becoming a saint ancestor? It seems that this is just a vision left behind by Saint Daoyi when he attained enlightenment in the past. The other supreme ancestors who were paying attention saw this and whispered to each other. Boom! At this time, the sky in the distance trembled. 9 mighty ancient demonic dragons, like mountains, came across the sky, exuding unparalleled pressure. Above the 9 ancient demon dragons, there is a majestic ancient palace, like a demon emperor coming in person. That is the Taisha demon sect. The moment they saw the 9 demonic dragons, there were screams of exclamation from the endless Taoism gathered from all realms. Those 9 demonic dragons were the 9 nether demonic dragons that the demon ancestor Taishu had surrendered in the past. These 9 demonic dragons, but they all have world-shattering combat power that is no less than half-step supreme. It is said that the formation of 9 dragons can even fight against the real supreme ancient ancestor. Since the disappearance of Taisha demon ancestor, these 9 demon dragons have been sleeping in Taisha demon. They have never been born in the boundless sea of demons of the sect. I didn't expect that today, the 9 demon dragons that had caused boundless chaos in the past would actually appear again. Tisk. After that, the bright demon light flickered. The mysterious ancient temple opened. A ray of light appeared. The figure in white clothes like snow, with an elegant temperament, like a fairy, stepped out. This person is none other than the demon son of Taishu, Zhang Chen. Although he is the holy son of the demon sect, Zhang Chen's aura is stronger than those of the descendants of the immortal sect. But also to be orthodox. Behind Zhang Chen, there are 3 figures, appearing closely. The 9 demon old man. Zhan Tianzun. The 12 ancestor. These 3 people are all half-step supreme, and behind them, they also represent the giant and overbearing orthodoxy. The Taisha demon sect. The ancient heaven. The 5th ancestral land. Obviously, these 3 half-step ancestors are trying to intimidate all the heavenly orthodoxy. Anyone who dares to take Zhang Chen's idea must think carefully. The consequences will be huge. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, Invincible from the Holy Son of the Demon section. Author, 10 miles. Chapter 146. The 5th level of the Great Emperor Realm. Sure enough, even if you break through to the Great Emperor Realm, your cultivation level will skyrocket. The chaotic divine body after Nirvana is so evil that it doesn't look like a human being. When Zhang Chen appeared, countless eyes fell on Zhang Chen. Soon, Zhang Chen's cultivation level was sensed by the giants of the Daoist lineage. This naturally caused a lot of turmoil. During the Battle of the Divine Realm, when Bai Zia was suppressed, Zhang Chen's cultivation level was only at the 9th level of the Emperor Realm, and he had not yet officially entered the Great Emperor Realm. Now, in just a few months, Zhang Chen's cultivation level has been soaring all the way, increased to the 5th level of the Great Emperor Realm. This terrifying cultivation speed once again shocked the whole world. You must know that the cultivation of the Great Emperor Realm is the state of condensing Dao fruit and comprehending the Great Dao. There are countless monks in this realm. It is normal for 10 or hundreds of years to be unable to break through one level. However, After Jiang Chen set foot in this realm, he kept racing all the way. How can these 3, 6, and 3 not shock the world? No wonder the first ancestral land, the imperial forbidden land, yin and yang life and death, the 3 Taoist giants would spend so much money to jointly deal with Jiang Chen. If Jiang Chen is given a few more years to grow, it will be enough to leap to the level of a true immortal. Jiang Chen's talent is indeed you can afford it, these 4 words are rarely seen in eternity. Wow! After arriving, Jiang Chen looked at the immortal peak of enlightenment. To be precise, he was looking at the majestic and supreme immortal shadow on the immortal peak. Is it the aura of the holy ancestor? The 9 demon old man, Zhan Tian Venerable, and the 12 ancestors who followed closely behind were also moved. Is there really a chance for a saint ancestor in this enlightenment immortal peak? This made the 9 demon old man and the other 3 half-step ancestors, all I'm a little confused. With such a shocking opportunity, the first ancestor is willing to take it out? Or is this just a trap? The aura is a bit weird. After sensing it for a long time, Jiang Chen's eyes widened and there was a hint of surprise. He sensed a hint of a strange aura from the towering immortal figure. Jiang Chen seemed to have sensed that strange fluctuation somewhere before, but he couldn't remember it. Call out. Suddenly, above the 9 heavens, a bright 5-color fairy light fell from the sky. It was a 5-color peacock, with wings spread out and thousands of fairy feathers flashing, dazzling, and eye-catching. On top of the 5-color peacock, stood a majestic figure, whose power could not be concealed. That's the descendant of the first ancestral land. Are the rumors true? The descendants of the first ancestral land really have the blood of the 5-color peacock. Seeing Ye Jinwu stepping on the peacock, countless powerful men from the Taoist tradition were shocked. The 5-color peacock is an innate fairy bird. In the ancient mythological era, the 5-color peacock even had amazing achievements in fighting dragons and phoenixes. That is Taisha Demon's son. Long time no see Chen. Ye Jinwu stood on the back of the 5-color peacock and looked towards Jiang Chen with a smile on his face. Fortunately, that smile was the smile. It seemed that in Jiang Chen's eyes, he had become a prey with nowhere to escape and could only be slaughtered by him. That is, the combination of 5 elements and Taoism. You have a good chance. Jiang Chen heard this and looked at Ye Jinwu. He could see at a glance that Ye Jinwu had integrated the 5 elements and Tao seeds. This immortal species can originate from the 5 elements and evolve all the ways in the world, making it one of the top immortal species. Although it is not as good as Jiang Chen's world tree sapling, it still has unparalleled power. Especially in terms of cultivation, it has amazing assistance. This put a smile on Jiang Chen's face. Ye Jinwu regarded him as prey, so why didn't he target Ye Jinwu? The stronger Ye Jinwu's qualifications and cultivation, the stronger his original destiny will naturally be. Surrounded by a group of supreme ancient clans, it was indeed difficult to kill Ye Jinwu and the others. Just like that day, Bai Ziu was rescued by the ancient ancestor of the 10th ancestral land right in front of him. However, it will not be difficult to seize his luck during the suppression. Boom! When Jiang Chen and Ye Jinwu were facing each other tit for tat, a vast and boundless pressure swept over like a tsunami. It was an imposing young figure. Although he came only one person, his momentum was like that of thousands of troops pressing down on the territory. That is the immortal realm, the forbidden land of the emperor. The person who comes is naturally the descendant of the imperial forbidden land, Sun Tianji. What kind of Taoism is that? Could it be the Hongmeng Qi that was rumored to create the world? When did the forbidden land of the emperor have such inheritance? Immediately after Sun Tianji appeared, there were ancient giants who sensed the Hongmeng immortal Qi in Sun Tianji. Hongmeng immortal Qi, in the age of mythology, was the legendary immortal Qi. It is said that only when the heaven and earth first opened, the energy of Hongmeng would be born. Now, Sun Tianji is actually surrounded by the aura of Hongmeng, which is naturally shocking. That's Hongmeng immortal seed. Zhang Chen and Ye Jinwu both looked over. Naturally, the two of them instantly recognized the origin of the Hongmeng Qi in Sun Tianji. The Hongmeng immortal seed is a powerful person that can rival the world tree seedlings. One of the immortal seeds. In terms of potential, Ye Jinwu's 5 elements and Tao seeds are far inferior to the Hongmeng immortal seed. Of course, both the immortal seed and the physical constitution are just a starting point. How far can a monk go in the end? The distance is not determined by the immortal seed and physique. Throughout the ages, there are those who have trampled on thousands of proud people and aspired to the highest level with their mortal bodies. It seems that everyone is here. Following Sun Tianji appeared, a ray of ghostly fairy light tore through the void. A white-haired figure appeared leisurely, sitting cross-legged on an ancient netherworld beast. The person who came was none other than Gu Senluo, descendant of the yin-yang tower of life and death in the nether realm. That is to say, during the last 10,000 Immortals Conference, the successor to the Immortal Court could not be decided. Today, we will come to an end. Gu Senluo stood up and looked at Zhang Chen, Ye Jinwu and Sun Tianji with high fighting spirit. This time the Enlightenment Immortal Peak was born, although it was to join forces to deal with Zhang Chen. But the essential thing will not change. That is to achieve the ultimate goal of the 5 imperial seals. Naturally, except for Zhang Chen, the other 2 people are enemies. It's just that there are advantages and disadvantages. The fighting spirit is quite good. I hope your strength will not disappoint me. Zhang Chen smiled, took a step forward, and escaped to the immortal peak of enlightenment. The moment Zhang Chen stepped onto the immortal peak, there was a crisp, booming and breaking sound. I saw that above the 9 heavens, the supreme immortal shadow that could frighten all living beings disappeared in response. Instead, there are thousands of mysterious ways scattered down. There are golden lotuses blooming, there are ancient scriptures of true immortals, auspicious beasts appear, there are immortal medicines that channel spirits. 1.9 Looking at it with 2 eyes, an ancient fairyland seems to have appeared on the immortal peak of enlightenment. That's the vision that once appeared when Saint Ancestor Dei attained enlightenment. The ancient giants who gathered were once again shocked and exclaimed. It seems that the vision of the holy ancestor on the immortal peak of enlightenment was triggered by Zhang Chen and the others. This means that the 4 Zhang Chens, it is very possible to get the chance of becoming a saint ancestor. This made many of the supreme ancient ancestors feel a little moved. Previously, the first ancestral land and other ancient ancestor giants went to investigate in person, but nothing appeared. Now, when Zhang Chen stepped onto the immortal peak, visions suddenly appeared in succession, which explains the problem. Sun Tianji, Ye Jinwu, and Gu Senluo did not hesitate and stepped out immediately. After the 3 of them stepped in, the immortal enlightenment, the visions on the peak are becoming more and more shocking. There are even visions of the ancient immortals, the immortal era, and the mythical era, which are constantly evolving and appearing. Fantasy, Invincible from the Holy Son of the Demon Section Author, 10 miles. Chapter 147. Whoosh whoosh. After that, 9 bright fairy lights appeared around the immortal peak of self-enlightenment, turning into a mysterious fairy formation. At first glance, it looks like the 9 palaces chaotic sky formation from the ancient times. But if you look closely, you will see that they are quite different. The changes contained in them far exceed those of the 9 palaces chaotic sky formation. Is this the magic circle left by Daoyi Saint Ancestor? The 9 demon old man and the other half-step supremes, as well as the supreme ancient ancestors such as Ye Wenchen, also looked moved. The mysterious fairy formation exuded the aura of the ancient times, which seemed to date back to the beginning of the world. It can lay down the only ones who possess such a world-shattering array are the saint ancestors who are in the highest realm. The supreme ancient ancestor can travel through the long river of time and see the past and the future. At the beginning, the demon ancestor Taishu only let him see the future after seeing the future. The 9-demon old man brought Zhang Chen back. Naturally, the higher level saint ancestor realm can also see the future. Therefore, this mysterious fairy formation is most likely left by the Daoyi saint ancestor after he had insight into the future. Whoa! When a mysterious immortal formation appeared on the immortal peak of enlightenment. A bright celestial light came from the distance. That was. After looking at the many Taoist traditions that had originally shocked the transformation of the immortal peak of enlightenment, his eyes suddenly froze. The fairy light that broke through the sky was a fairy crane flying into the sky. On top of the crane, a figure surrounded by fairy light stood calmly. Those 11 people were none other than Bai Ziyu, the 10th ancestral descendant who suffered a tragic defeat at the hands of Zhang Chen a few months ago. Is it the smell of a true fairyland? Is he actually stepping into the realm of true immortals? Those top Taoists were so surprised. Naturally, it's because, in the past few months, Bai Ziyu has broken through the Emperor realm and entered the true immortal realm. A true fairyland, no matter what era it is placed in, is enough to be famous in the heavens. A true immortal can be said to be immortal and live forever. In the early days of immortality, a true immortal was enough to create a supreme immortal court and a long-lasting family. I originally thought that after Bai Ziyu was brutally suppressed, he would gradually be forgotten by the world. But unexpectedly, Bai Ziyu took over from behind and stepped into the level of true immortal one step ahead. He is truly worthy of being an ancient genius. Even if you can't become a descendant of the immortal court, your future achievements are still limitless. After all, it started from the time Bai Ziyu was sealed. Bai Ziyu is still just a young man today, able to achieve the realm of true immortality with a young appearance. This shows how much potential Bai Ziyu has. That is, this breath, in the end. On the immortal peak of enlightenment. Zhang Chen looked at the mysterious immortal formation that blocked the immortal peak, and his eyes became even more strange. Before, he had noticed a strange feeling from those Taoist techniques. Now, with the appearance of this mysterious fairy formation, Zhang Chen's weird feeling became even stronger. It was obvious. He had definitely felt that weird aura somewhere. The word surprised Zhang Chen. Why couldn't he remember it no matter how hard he racked his brains? When Yi Nu reached Zhang Chen's level of cultivation, she had already developed the magical power of photographic memory. Once you have felt it, it is impossible to forget. Could it be that you just felt it unconsciously before? In this way, you can let go and fight. The young and white-headed Gu Senluo, who was surrounded by the netherworld immortal light, looked at Zhang Chen and the other three with an even stronger fighting spirit. With the power of this mysterious immortal formation, even the supreme ancient ancestor would find it difficult to take action at the critical moment. This also means that look, the four of them may die at the hands of each other at any time. This kid, he won't act randomly, right? Seeing Gu Senluo's gaze, Fenchen ancient ancestor's eyebrows moved slightly. Their plan was to have Yejin Wuo, Gu Senluo, and Sun Tianji join forces to suppress Zhang Chen. But now the look on Gu Senluo's face showed that he was clearly preparing for a 1-on-3 fight. It seems that Yejin Wuo and Sun Tianji have no intention of joining forces. Xuefeng ancient ancestor and other giants also spoke after looking at Yejin Wuo and Sun Tianji. Forcibly bringing them together will not work. The three ancient ancestors Ye Wenchen, Sun Wushan, and Gu Shura couldn't help but shake their heads. This didn't surprise them much. Because, whether it is Yejin Wuo, Gu Senluo, or Sun Tianji, they all lived proudly for an era. Naturally, the three of them all have their own arrogance. Originally, as an ancient prodigy, he already had an advantage against Zhang Chen. Now, if they are asked to join forces, they are somewhat disapproving of it. Of course, to put it bluntly, it's because the three of them have merged with the immortal species. Before the fusion of immortal seeds, the three of them had no objections to joining forces. Now that the immortal species are fused, their strength and qualifications have all undergone transformation. The confidence of the three of them has increased again. Whoosh! When the atmosphere on the Enlightenment Immortal Peak became a little weird. Above Zhang Chen's head, there were three clear lights that shot out of the sky and evolved into three true bodies. Astonishingly, it is one energy that transforms the three pure beings. Now that we are here, let's go together. Zhang Chen's body stood in the air and looked at Ye Jinwu and the others. He had a smile on his face, and his expression was light and calm, and there was no trace of any pressure at all. Is this, you want to fight 1-on-3? Taisha Demon, is still as crazy as ever. Zhang Chen's move immediately caused a huge uproar among the creatures outside the Immortal Peak. Although there have been rumors that the first ancestral land, the Forbidden Land of the Emperor, and the Yin-Yang Life and Death Tower will form an alliance. But from just now, Ye Jinwu, Sun, judging from the atmosphere in Tianji and Gasenluo, I'm afraid they won't join forces. After all, the three of them seem to regard each other as rivals. If they don't work together, it will be bad. But now, Zhang Chen has done this. The three of them, even if people don't join forces, I'm afraid they will deal with Zhang Chen first. Zhang Chen dares to take the initiative to provoke when there is a huge difference in cultivation. How can this be tolerated? Can we win against 3-against-1 at this moment? Even followers such as Yan'er, Yuan Tian, Wu Xing, Zhan Wudi, Bailey Fixian, etc. can't help but have such thoughts. Ye Jinwu, Sun Tianji, and Gu Senluo are not ordinary young geniuses. Let's not talk about anything else. Just because of their current cultivation level, they are all the same. Half a step is enough to achieve 043 immortality. That's too much. In the fifth ancestral land, Tianwu, Zhangwei and other younger generations couldn't help but shake their heads slightly. In the current situation, defeating them one by one is the best way. Zhang Chen, however, chose the most dangerous path. If this was a little easier, if there is a mistake, the position of heir to the immortal court will be missed. The people of Taisha Demon Sect, Ancient Heavenly Court, and the Fifth Ancestral Land are like this. Naturally, the orthodox traditions of other regions are even less optimistic about Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen is indeed, he has the ability to defy the heavens and has unparalleled fighting power. This is something no one can question. But this does not mean that Zhang Chen can still fight 1-against-3 when the weak fight against the strong. If the cultivation levels are equal, then maybe, there is still a possibility of winning. This kid is not immortal. In the deep void, Ancient Ancestor Wu, Suifeng Ancient Ancestor, Ye Wenchen, Sun Wuxian and other Ancient Ancestor giants were all moved. With their cultivation level, it is obvious. Zhang Chen's calm demeanor contains so much confidence. In other words, in Zhang Chen's eyes, he can really suppress Ye Jinwu and the others. Since you want to seek death, then I will grant your wish. Gu Senluo's eyes turned cold, and the yin and yang Tao method swept through his body, deriving the energy of life and death. The yin and yang life and death tower, as its name suggests, follows the yin and yang Tao of life and death. If this path is taken to the extreme, it can even subvert the 6 paths of life and death with a single thought. To a certain extent, the inheritance of the ancient sea of reincarnation in the immortal realm has different approaches but the same purpose. Fantasy, Invincible from the Holy Son of the Demon Section Author, 10 miles. Chapter 148. To be looked down upon like this, you really can't pretend you didn't hear it. Ye Jinwu, who was surrounded by colorful fairy lights, had a lifelike 5-color peacock condensed behind him. A terrifying fairy power that shocked the world swept away unscrupulously and disturbed the sky. Obviously, the peacock blood in Ye Jinwu's body has been destroyed. I'm completely awakened. That's okay. I'll deal with you first, and then we'll decide the outcome. On Sun Tianji, as the Hongmeng Qi rose, a very special aura of calamity appeared. Ancient and mysterious calamity lines spread from the center of Sun Tianji's eyebrows, sweeping across his limbs and bones. The heavenly art of 10,000 calamities. This is the forbidden land of the Emperor, an immortal heavenly skill that has been passed down since ancient times. When this heavenly skill is mastered, it can conquer all kinds of calamities in the world and temper oneself. This is a supreme heavenly skill that becomes more terrifying as it reaches a later stage of cultivation. Of course, if you can't bear it, you will lose your soul. This is also the reason why there are so few successors in the imperial forbidden land. Sure enough, their cultivation has already reached the half-step of true immortals. Feeling that Ye Jinwu and the others, the terrifying pressure that broke out caused countless top cultivators to boil. Bai Ziu, who had been defeated miserably before, took the lead in breaking through the imperial realm and aspired to the fairyland, shocking the world. Now it seems that Ye Jinwu and the others are not far away from the level of true immortals. Even if they didn't suppress it deliberately. Now, it is very likely that we can hit the true fairyland. Whoosh whoosh. Zhang Chen had a calm expression on his face, no waves at all, and a thought in his mind. Immediately, the three incarnations burst through the sky like ghosts and pounced on the three of them. That's overestimating one's abilities. Gu Senluo was filled with the energy of life and death, and with boundless killing power, he went forward to fight. Gu Senluo was no stranger to the sect that transformed the three pure beings with one energy. Back then, during the immortal conference of 10,000 immortals, Zhang Chen had used he must have mastered the secret technique. And Zhang Chen's confidence to fight one against three should also be because of this secret technique. In this case, he will destroy the secret technique and completely destroy Zhang Chen's self-confidence. Death. Gu Senluo waved his hand, and the yin and yang dao of life and death surged into a huge palm that covered the sky. Under this palm, it seemed that even the sky was enough to destroy it, sealing all the three incarnations of Zhang Chen. Obviously, Gu Senluo's gaze was not on the incarnation that was charging towards him. He wanted to completely destroy the three incarnations that Zhang Chen had derived. Ang. But just as Gu Senluo took action, a dragon roar appeared that resounded throughout the 9 heavens. I saw that the incarnation that rushed to kill Gu Senluo had dragon energy boiling all over his body. After that, his figure jumped and transformed into the ancient true dragon, directly smashed the giant hand that covered the sky. Immediately afterwards, the void shook violently and boiled. The incarnation of the ancient true dragon broke through the air, and charged at Gu Senluo with its teeth and claws. In a moment, the wind and clouds changed color, Taoism spread to the sky trembled, and the immortal peaks shook. The land with a radius of tens of thousands of miles suddenly turned into a battlefield of destruction, which was frightening. Is it the true dragon magic? Gu Senluo, who was originally confident in taking action, narrowed his eyes slightly and looked a little serious. An incarnation can actually perform the true dragon magic, one of the 10 evils in ancient times. And judging from this level of killing power, even if he is hit, his life will be in danger. No wonder Zhang Chen is so confident and dares to fight the three of them on his own. Immediately, Gu Senluo did not dare to be careless, his hands changed into seals, and he used supreme killing skills to meet the kill. Rumble. Earth-shattering bombing sounds resounded. Gu Senluo and his incarnations, one came to the world like a demon god, and the other transformed into an ancient true dragon, started a ferocious fight between heaven and earth. That secret art. Outside the immortal peak of enlightenment, Bai Ziu, who had become a spectator, had a strange look in his eyes. The incarnation that fought against Gu Senluo was much more terrifying than Zhang Chen, who defeated him in the first place. In other words, the combat power of this incarnation must be higher than the original Zhang Chen? So what level has Zhang Chen's body reached now? Juju. At this moment, 2 sharp and deafening neighing sounds appeared. Everyone looked at the sound. A piece of five-color fairy light intertwined and collided with the yin and yang sea in the void, and emitted a terrifying killing calamity. The five-color fairy light is a lifelike five-color peacock, arrogant to all the spirits in the sky. In the sea of yin and yang, there is a chaotic kunpeng flying with wings spread, covering the sky and the sun. One is an innate fairy bird, and the other is ranked among the 10 evils. Although the two great immortal birds were both derived from blood or secret techniques. Those ferocious fights and the terrifying impact were enough to shatter the world. If it weren't for the mysterious immortal formation that appeared around the immortal peak of enlightenment, I'm afraid that those who gathered together would hundreds of millions of living beings will be affected. Such combat power is too terrifying. What kind of world-shattering secret technique does the Taisha demon master? I heard that the Taisha demon son received the inheritance from the Taisha demon ancestor, and it should be related to the Taisha demon ancestor. Seeing the two incarnations derived from Zhang Chen, they actually stopped Gu Senluo and Yejin Wuo. The hundreds of millions of creatures outside the immortal peak were all shocked and couldn't believe it. To be honest, the scene before them was something they had never imagined before. After all, the cultivation levels of Yejin Wuo and Gu Senluo have both reached the half-step supreme realm. It was originally within their expectations. The two of them, Yejin Wuo, should be the incarnations of horizontal pressure, fighting against Zhang Chen himself. But what about the results? Yejin Wuo and Gu Senluo were entangled by the two incarnations and could not escape at all. This is still a 1-on-3 situation, and Zhang Chen's body has never made a move. If it were a 1-on-1 situation, wouldn't Zhang Chen be invincible? That's, At this time, an older giant couldn't help but let out a chuckle. The older giant looked towards where Sun Tianji was. Naturally, Zhang Chen's incarnation was also killing Sun Tianji. However, that elder was killing Xiang. Sun Tianji's incarnation seemed to be trapped in endless killing calamities. It can be clearly seen that the Taoism in the void in front of Sun Tianji became extremely thick, like an endless swamp. There were countless killing calamities in that area. The Tao of the void evolves, mysteriously and strangely. The incarnation that Zhang Chen killed sank into it. The Tao of 10,000 tribulations. A half-step supreme ancestor slowly opened his mouth and revealed the secret of Sun Tianji's performance. Technique. Nyukian's way of 10,000 tribulations, which is the supreme killing technique contained in the 10,000 tribulations heavenly skill, which can evolve into 10,000 tribulations. Once you are trapped in it, you will endure endless killing techniques until the person is completely killed. Sun Tianji actually used this shocking killing technique on an incarnation. This is obviously because he doesn't want to be entangled with those incarnations and waste time. Sure enough, the next moment, Sun Tianji stepped out of the air, flying across the sky as fast as a ghost. That's death. When Sun Tianji appeared again, he was already in front of Zhang Chen. After forming a seal with his hands, he transformed into an immortal seal as big as a mountain peak and blasted towards Zhang Chen. That majestic immortal seal also contained infinite energy. Once the killing calamity breaks out, it will be enough to shatter the heaven and the earth. It is the seal of 10,000 tribulations. This is another unparalleled killing technique among the 10,000 tribulations heavenly technique, and its killing power is even stronger than the 10,000 tribulations Dao. The way of 10,000 tribulations is famous for its continuous killing power. The seal of 10,000 tribulations condenses the contained killing calamity to a point and then completely explodes it. WX_103 221,766. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Fantasy, Invincible from the Holy Son of the Demon Section author, 10 miles. Chapter 149. Boom. Zhang Chen just reacted. Sun Tianji's seal of 10,000 tribulations had already arrived with a powerful blast, accompanied by the shaking of the earth. A hurricane-like destructive method was a continuous bombing in that area. With Zhang Chen as the center, the void within a radius of 100 feet became fragmented like rags. This is Sun Tianji's seal of 10,000 tribulations, and the killing power that explodes is too terrifying. This void is unbearable and may completely collapse at any time. Nature. Zhang Chen, who was at the center of the killing calamity, had no way to escape and could only endure the destructive killing techniques. In other words, he endured the seal of 10,000 tribulations head-on. In the immortal realm, a giant of the immortal Taoist lineage looked greatly moved. The 10,000 tribulations heavenly art in the Emperor's Forbidden Land has a monstrous killing reputation in the immortal realm. For monks who have practiced the 10,000 tribulations heavenly art, they can kill enemies across borders. That is a piece of cake. Although Zhang Chen has invincible combat power, in terms of his true body, he is only at the 5th level of the Great Emperor realm. If he is directly exposed to such a destructive killing technique, even Zhang Chen will be severely injured even if he does not die, right? I'm still careless. Many top Taoists couldn't help but shake their heads. If Zhang Chen hadn't relied on him, he could have reacted before Sun Tianji got close to him. Now, he won't fall into that kind of destruction and killing situation. That's wrong. That means his aura hasn't changed. Those half-step supreme and supreme ancient ancestors also concentrated on perception. After a while, their expressions, 970, became a little surprised. After enduring Sun Tianji's unparalleled killing skills, Zhang Chen's aura did not change? Doesn't this mean that Zhang Chen didn't suffer any injuries? Is that all there is to it? At this time, a dull voice came out from the violent and destructive Taoist impact. How could this happen? The moment he heard the sound, Sun Tianji's pupils shrank sharply, and he immediately disappeared without thinking. Crash. Almost instantly. In the void, thousands of space chains intertwined and descended. If Sun Tianji hadn't reacted in time, he would have been trapped by the blockade now. Is it blocked? In the distance, Sun Tianji appeared in the void, looking at where Zhang Chen was. With the appearance of those space chains, Zhang Chen, who had been bombarded before, was also revealed. Everyone originally expected that even if he did not die, he would be severely injured. Zhang Chen, however, was unscathed. He was dressed in white clothes, not stained by any dust, and his temperament was elegant, like a 9-day fairy. That was. What is the law of space? That's not just the law of space, but also the law of time. The power of time and space. As Zhang Chen appeared, countless eyes immediately looked over. There were constant exclamations. Those ancient giants also immediately saw the reason why Zhang Chen was unscathed. They saw a line of nothingness appearing around Zhang Chen. The river flows around it. The laws contained in that river are exactly the laws of time and space. At a glance, it is like the rumored long river of time, which is extremely mysterious. It is obvious that the seal of 10,000 tribulations that Sun Tianji just broke out is all the laws of time and space. Blocked by the laws of time and space. That is to say, Taisha demon's control over the laws of time and space has become more and more superb. In this way, he will be truly invincible. Back in the god's domain, the creatures who saw the battle between Zhang Chen and Bai Ziyu couldn't help but marvel. During the battle with Bai Ziyu, Zhang Chen relied on the laws of time and space to give Bai Ziyu nowhere to start. But now, Zhang Chen's law of time and space has been directly improved by several levels. As long as he cannot break through those laws of time and space, he will not be able to hurt Zhang Chen at all. As expected, Taisha Demon Sun's body is already so strong that he is invincible among his peers. It also made countless forces boil. Even the 10,000 tribulations heavenly art in the Emperor's forbidden land and the destructive power erupted cannot penetrate the laws of time and space. How to fight this? Zhang Chen is truly invincible among his peers. Ye Feng. No. At this moment, two loud shouts resounded one after another, accompanied by the bright fairy light flashing. Ye Jinwu and Gu Senluo, who were fighting with Zhang Chen's incarnation, both used ancient magic weapons. Judging from the terrifying pressure, although it is not an immortal treasure, it is still a top imperial soldier. The sacrifice of those two ancient magic weapons immediately sealed Zhang Chen's incarnation with the mysterious imperial method. Ye Jinwu and Gu Senluo flew through the air and looked at Zhang Chen, their eyes a little solemn. Even they had to deal with Sun Tianji's killing technique with caution. Zhang Chen, however, blocked it without any damage just by relying on the laws of time and space. This is enough to show how strong Zhang Chen's combat power is. It seems that the three great heirs are seriously joining forces. When they saw Ye Jinwu, Gu Senluo, and Sun Tianji, they all looked at Zhang Chen as if they were facing a formidable enemy. The hundreds of millions of Taoist lineages who gathered all had such thoughts. This also shocked countless creatures even more. Zhang Chen is a monster. The three ancient geniuses have to join forces even though their cultivation level far exceeds that of Zhang Chen. To a certain extent, this can explain a lot of problems. No wonder the immortal master will do it one after another. Come to the immortal court and teach him the immortal method. In the deep void, ancient ancestor Fenshen, ancient ancestor Suifeng and other ancient ancestors of the immortal court stood silently. Although the battle in front of us is not over yet. But to be honest, even with their prejudices, they had to admit Zhang Chen's talent. It can no longer be said to be a monster, it is simply like a monster being born. If Zhang Chen grows up and takes charge of the ancient immortal court, then maybe he can lead the ancient immortal court to return to its peak, or even surpass the past, right? That is to say, we must join forces and attack with all our strength. Ye Wenchen from the first ancestral land, Sun Wuxian from the Emperor's forbidden land, and ancient Shura from the nether realm. These three ancient ancestors all have solemn eyes. If Ye Jinwu and the three of them don't join forces and attack with all their strength, then they will definitely Zhang Chen defeated them one by one and suppressed them all. Now, only by joining forces can we have the possibility of victory. He is indeed the son of destiny predicted by the ancestor. In the Taisha demon sect, the 9-demon old man had a smile on his face. That wrinkled old face smiled like a chrysanthemum. Venerable Zhan Tian, the 12 ancestors and other half-step masters also showed smiles. It was only at this moment that they felt relieved. I also understood why Zhang Chen was so unscrupulous and dared to fight 1-on-3. Enlightenment Immortal Peak. It seems that one Qi can transform the three pure beings, but the essence has not yet been understood. Looking at the three trapped incarnations, Zhang Chen thought, and the three incarnations returned to their original bodies. Since merging with the world tree saplings and setting foot in the great emperor realm, Zhang Chen has been deducing and comprehending the secrets of supernatural powers. Other magical powers and secrets. Zhang Chen has almost touched the origin of the 10 evil treasure techniques, the divine elephant prison suppressing power, the 89 heavenly techniques, etc. Now, it is just because of his limited cultivation that he cannot fully exert his true killing power. Only one Qi transformation of the three pure beings. Zhang Chen still has not completely mastered it until now. According to records, the three incarnations that can truly transform into the three pure beings with one energy are enough to rival the original body. It is for this reason that the transformation of the three pure states with one energy is called forbidden technique. Just use all your strength. Otherwise, you won't have a chance. After that, Zhang Chen gathered his thoughts and looked at Ye Jinwu, Sun Tianji, and Gu Senluo. In Zhang Chen's eyes, the luck above the heads of Ye Jinwu and the others was getting stronger rapidly. Obviously, Yejin Wu and the others have already. He wants to get serious. This is exactly what Zhang Chen wants. The stronger his luck, the more he will plunder. As for the origin, it depends on luck. Although the immortal peak of enlightenment has been that mysterious fairy formation is blocked. But whether that mysterious fairy formation can block the supreme ancient ancestor realm is still a matter of two opinions. Therefore, the most important thing right now is to plunder the luck_fei. Lu reminds you, 3 things about reading, Union Set Symbol Collection, Recommendation, Sharing. WX_1032211766. M. Original Works, All. Fantasy, Invincible from the Holy Son of the Demon Section Author, 10 Miles. Chapter 150. Hearing Zhang Chen's arrogant words, Gu Senluo's eyes turned cold. But this time, he didn't say any harsh words, and just formed seals with his hands. Immediately, Gu Senluo's body was filled with a powerful aura of the netherworld rising out. Those netherworld auras also contain the vast and immortal aura of Teishu, extremely mysterious. This is Gu Senluo, the fused Teishu nether seed, completely unsealed at this moment. In the previous battle, Gu Senluo only relied on he used his own combat power without resorting to the power of immortal seeds. Now, after seeing Zhang Chen's terrifying combat power, he went all out. It can be clearly sensed that Gu Senluo's momentum is using his crazy strength. The speed continues to skyrocket. Such astonishing momentum makes many giants at the true immortal level quite moved. If this breakthrough continues, Gu Senluo may be able to break through the bottleneck and become the immortal emperor in one step. Realm. In the end, Gu Senluo's cultivation level stayed at the edge of the true immortal realm. I don't know if he can't continue to break through the bottleneck. Or because of the battle for the immortal emperor's seal, he deliberately didn't break through. But no matter what, the current Gu Senluo's combat power was at a completely different level than before. Boom. When Gu Senluo unsealed the Teishu nether seed, Yejin Wu and Sun Tianji had no time to spare. Yejin Wu's body was filled with boundless 5-color fairy light, soaring straight into the sky. Vaguely, there is a world of 5 elements, derived from the 5-color fairy light. Metal, wood, water, fire, earth. The 5 innate laws are intertwined with each other, deriving all laws in the world, making people feel endless insignificance. Feeling. Sun Tianji's whole body was filled with dazzling Hongmeng fairy light. Every ray of fairy light contained the most original laws of the world. In a trance, Sun Tianji's body appeared a piece of supreme strangeness when the world first opened. Elephant. Just seeing it makes people's souls shake and find it difficult to calm down. It is as if they have really witnessed the reopening of heaven and earth, and their minds are greatly shocked. The cultivation levels of Yejin Wu and Sun Tianji have also skyrocketed crazily. In the end, it is also like Gu Senluo, staying just one step away from the true immortal realm. It can be said that even if a real true immortal comes, the 3 of them are still capable of fighting. Even the future of the 3 of them is unpredictable. All the ancient giants in the great realms couldn't help but sigh. A leopard can be seen in the tube. From the performance of Yejin Wu and the others at this time, we can get a glimpse of their future achievements. It can be said that as long as the 3 of them do not perish, from then on, there won't be much of a problem when setting foot on the supreme ancient ancestor. It is even very possible to attack the rumored saint ancestor realm. This is very possible for them who have merged with the immortal species. That's what makes it interesting. Looking at the greatly changed momentum of Sun Tianji and the others, Zhang Chen was not only not surprised, but also had a smile on his face. After saying this, Zhang Chen's whole body was covered with innate chaotic Dao patterns, and the pores and flesh shone with chaotic fairy light. Shui Sui as the chaotic fairy light filled the air, a chaotic world appeared behind Zhang Chen. Faintly, in that chaotic world, a towering world tree reached straight into the sky, opening up the world. This aura, fierce. At this moment, the eyes of those ancient giants who were originally filled with emotion couldn't help but shrink. That's the breath of the world. They felt the real breath of the world from the chaotic world derived from Zhang Chen. For Zhang Chen, the chaotic vision derived from the chaotic divine body. I have seen those supreme ancient ancestor giants in the past. Although it is called a chaotic world, in essence, it is just a vision of the divine body. But now, in Zhang Chen's chaotic world, the aura of the world's origin is truly born. This means that Zhang Chen has completely transformed the former divine body vision into a world. Once Zhang Chen clears this path, it will be equivalent to being blessed by the power of a world. When the time comes, it is impossible to predict how far Zhang Chen's strength will reach. This is the power of the world tree seedlings. Yejin Wuo, Gu Senluo, and Sun Tianji, who had unlocked the immortal species and whose strength had skyrocketed, could not hide their emotions. Zhang Chen, who was surrounded by chaos and stood in front of them, made them feel as if they were facing the suppression of the power of heaven and earth. An unspeakable feeling of fear emerged in their hearts uncontrollably. It's an instinctive sense of danger. Subconsciously want to escape. Yes. Of course, the three Gu Senluo are not ordinary people. The moment they sensed the fear in their hearts, they immediately stabilized their Taoist hearts. The moment they came back to their senses, the sense of fear and danger in their hearts was just that. Disperse. Can it affect people's Taoist minds? Sun Tianji's eyes flickered, and he became increasingly wary of Zhang Chen. Originally, with the cultivation level of the three of them, even if they met a real immortal, they would not be frightened. But just now, when they felt Zhang Chen's chaotic world, they could not hide the fear in their hearts. There is no doubt that this is Zhang Chen's chaotic world, which can invisibly affect their Taoist hearts. Otherwise, Zhang Chen alone would not be able to make them so frightened. After all, to put it bluntly, no matter how strong Zhang Chen is now, he can't be strong enough to compete with a true immortal. That means sending you on your way. Seeing Gu Senluo and the others react instantly, Zhang Chen didn't care. He stepped out, accompanied by the laws of time and space, across the endless void, and directly killed the three of them. When Zhang Chen stepped out, the entire world, all the Taoism and Dharma were pulled away. Then, behind Zhang Chen, a majestic emperor's figure condensed with Taoism appeared. A godless majesty that dominated the nine heavens and looked down upon the sky swept away unscrupulously, suppressing all spirits. That level of imperial power is not only limited to the realm of the great emperor, but also contains the laws of the immortal way. However, Zhang Chen's cultivation is too weak, so he can only manifest the imperial power. When Zhang Chen sets foot in the realm of the immortal way after that, the emperor's power will transform into the immortal power. This is also the terrifying thing about the way of the Emperor of Heaven. The way of the Emperor of Heaven. Could he have successfully deduced the way of the Emperor of Heaven? This kid is going to defy heaven. Feeling the vast imperial power emanating from Zhang Chen, Ye Wenchen, Gu Shura and other supreme ancestors couldn't hide their shock. 0. The way Zhang Chen displays the way of the heavenly emperor now is completely different from when he suppressed Bai Ziyu. In other words, they are two completely different levels. In fact, they felt that Zhang Chen's pressure from the heavenly emperor was greater than that of the founder of the heavenly emperor's way. What this means is naturally self-evident. Just kill. When those supreme ancient ancestors were shocked, Gu Senluo and the other three people had already faced Zhang Chen. Gu Senluo, who was filled with the aura of the netherworld of the first beginning, condensed two netherworld war spears, one in each hand, fierce. He slashed at Zhang Chen. When the two war spears passed by, the void was torn apart with force, which shows the great killing power. Kill. Sun Tianji transformed his hands into seals, condensing a Hongmeng seal with the power of opening the sky. Suppressed and went away. An extremely special and terrifying vast killing power emanated from the Hong Mongolian seal. Even those true immortal beings had faint palpitations and their eyes changed color. Forbidden. Yejin Wu transformed into a 5-color peacock, and the laws of the 5 elements around him were intertwined into a giant network. The giant network of laws fell from the sky, like a sky pressing down, containing the ultimate sealing pressure in the world. When they joined forces, Yejin Wu and the 3 of them, naturally, they didn't adopt any tactic of besieging each other. They just fought head-on. If they can't crush Zhang Chen head-on, then even if they win, they will still have their inner demons left behind. That's just the right time. Zhang Chen was not afraid of this at all. Even laughed out loud. With the explosion of chaotic fairy light, the imperial power that Zhang Chen exuded was even more terrifying than before. At this time, Zhang Chen was like a real emperor coming to the world, capable of suppressing all enemies in the world. WX_103 221,766